Hello, it's midnight in Beirut, Lebanon, 1 a.m. in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and here in Ghana, it's 10 p.m. Wherever you are across the country and the rest of the world, this is News at 10 on TV3 and 3FM 92.7. Let's begin with the highlights of the day's top stories in our networks. One person is feared dead with 4 others in critical condition after a gas explosion at a fuel station at Krofrom Tafon Shiaeso in Kumasi. This is the second time the Trinity gas station has experienced an explosion, causing fear and panic among residents in the community. And all students who would graduate from the 46 teacher trainee colleges nationwide will from next year graduate with degrees instead of the diploma. This is according to the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, which forms part of teacher trainee reforms being undertaken to enhance quality of teaching in the country. And about 33% of children in Ghana are said to have been sexually abused, which include rape and molestation. Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Cynthia Morrison, in a statement on the floor of Parliament to mark World Children's Day, said efforts are being made to ensure a better future for the Ghanaian child. Our Minister of Finance, Keno Foriata, has revealed that government will release 1 billion Ghana cedis by the end of this month as outstanding arrears owed contractors. The minister was responding to concerns about the impact of the money owed to contractors on the economy raised by President of the Ghana Association of Bankers, Al-Hassan Andani. Those are our major news highlights. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook and on 3news.com. TV3 is also live on your DSTV channel 279. Let's start with our very first story tonight. One person is feared dead with 4 others in critical condition after a gas explosion at a fuel station at Krofrom Tafon Shiaeso in Kumasi. This is the second time the Trinity gas station has experienced an explosion, causing fear and panic among residents in the community. Here is a report by Benjamin Adu.
The gas explosion occurred during the Tuesday morning rush hour. The gas station is situated close to schools, churches, residential houses, a washing bay and mechanical shops. Several properties, including about 30 vehicles and shops, were gutted by the fire. The swift intervention from personnel of the Ghana National Fire Service and police, as well as some residents, averted the extensive spread of the fire to neighboring structures. It took firefighters about an hour to douse the fire. Ashanti Regional NADMO Coordinator Kwabna Century says the injured have been rushed to the hospital for medical treatment.
There have been 2 birds. As of now, we have no information that they are dead or what, but we cannot be confirmed. Yeah, and we have about 7 or 8 cars here burnt. And the opposite side, there was also a fire too.
Regional Fire Commander, Chief Fire Officer Joe Shongwa said 6 fire tenders were rushed to the scene immediately after a distress call came through.
Currently, what we are doing is salvaging. We are trying to look at it and take a event of everything that has happened. And I think when we finish that, we'll be able to come up with a very good conclusion for everybody.
Investigations are yet to commence on the cause of the explosion. Residents, however, suspect leakage on one of the cylinders. The angry residents say the continuous operation of the gas filling station in the area is a threat to their safety.
We want the gas station relocated. The gas station is sited close to residential areas. We are unhappy about the siting of the gas station close to us.
And there were heated arguments on the floor of Parliament Tuesday as the House commenced debate on the 2019 budget statement, which was presented by the Finance Minister last Thursday. The minority side argued government borrowed to undertake what they call chop-chop, while the majority MP said the Akufo-Addo-led government has turned the economy around due to its competent economic team.
For 2018, rebase 5.4. Inflation is down. Interest rates have come down. Every single macroeconomic indicator has improved. under the MPP's watch, the ease of doing business, it has improved. By the end of the year, we would exit the IMF program. So see, you sent us to the IMF. Now we are getting the country out of the IMF. Yeah. You should be applauding our efforts. And never again we will go back to the IMF.
Ghana's public debt has risen from 122.2 million to 170.8 billion. Mr. Speaker, it means that in today's terms, Mr. Speaker, every Ghanaian within 18 months, every Ghanaian, including the newborn baby, Mr. Speaker, owes 5,798 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, this is unprecedented. I'm surprised that this government is creating impression that they are going to do magic with infrastructure. The allocations does not support infrastructure development.
When we assumed power, we were given a liability of 7 billion Ghana cedis, which we mentioned could not be traced directly in the books. Indeed, when we asked contractors and others who claimed they were owed to produce their bills, the bill shot up to 11 billion. It was at that time that we sent a request to the Auditor General to audit. And when he came back, he said 5.4 billion could not be substantiated, but 5.2 could be substantiated. If they ask us what have we been doing with the money, we've been paying the 5.2 billion Ghana cedis worth of debt that you left to us.
Mr. Speaker, our debt has increased from 120 to 170 billion. When you do the arithmetic, it means that every day Kokeno Foreta increases our debt by 70 million Ghana cedis. If President Akufo-Addo was in primary 1, I am sure that he will not go to primary 2 with his colleagues. No! Mr. Speaker, he will be repeated, and at best, we might send him to kindergarten to learn these basic rudimentaries.
Mr. Speaker, 10 billion of that is due to the financial crisis. We could have averted this 10 billion. Mr. Speaker, Ghana could have averted this 10 billion debt if my friends here had been bold enough to tell Ghanaians and then to solve the financial problem. So net on net, we have actually borrowed about 20 billion, and we can list the number of things that we have done with this money.
Mr. Speaker, if you have a situation where a whole government will have access to about 1.4, 1.5 billion figures coming into get fund, and that government consumes about 1 billion of that amount, and then you leave behind about 400 million for infrastructure, and then you turn around to come and borrow $500 million. That is almost 2 billion cedis plus, to do exactly the same thing that the 1.4, 1.5 billion was given to you, and you call yourself incompetent people. You are not. You are tragically incompetent.
What the bank needs is not a promise to pay him in 5 or 10 years' time. It is to give him cash now so that when depositors arrive, they will get their money. Now that you have given them a promise for the next 5 to 10 years, when the depositors come for their money, how do they get it? You give them part of the bond? No, the paper. So people are dying at the hospitals because they can't withdraw their money to go and take care of their health needs.
Parliamentary debates can be pretty interesting. Let's still stay in Parliament. About 33% of children in Ghana are said to have been sexually abused, which include rape and molestation. Minister of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Cynthia Morrison, in a statement on the floor of Parliament to mark World Children's Day, said efforts are being made to ensure a better future for the Ghanaian child.
Cynthia Morrison encouraged leaders in society to take a stand against child abuse so that no child is left behind in the development of the country. She said her outfit is making efforts to ensure every child is in school, safe from harm, and can fulfill their potential.
The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, and UNICEF, the partners, are calling on all Ghanaians to strive to create a country that fulfills its promise of a better future for her children, as enshrined in the CRC, which Ghana was the first country to ratify.
Other MPs expressed worry at the level of irresponsibility on the part of some parents.
I will urge, especially our civil society groups, our churches, our Muslim clerics, traditional authorities, to re-energize that advocacy role that we played years ago in giving meaning
to the interests and the welfare of the child in this country. We can also impact and change the world if, Mr. Speaker, at least each and every member of parliament would take a wonderful step to adopt an underprivileged child, to support the child for us to put them back to school and ensure that we keep an eye on them to ensure that they also become very, very important people in our communities.
Children need guidance to the extent that parents must be ready to take responsibility, especially the men. Excuse me, I know there are women who are also said that you would not believe they would have carried these children in their stomachs before giving birth to them. It is your responsibility as a parent to support the child to come up. Give your support, talk to the child, let the child understand.
According to statistics, 1 out of 5 girls in Ghana is married before their 18th birthday. 14% of girls aged between 15 and 19 years have begun having children. About 29% of children under 5 years do not have birth certificates, while 22% of children between 5 and 14 years are engaged in child labor.
And it was not her desire to see her children on the street selling and begging for alms for a living, but she has been helpless after the death of her husband 5 years ago. As Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark International Children's Day, we bring you the story of a 52-year-old woman struggling to fend for her 4 children.
Amina Mohammed used to live in Nigeria with her husband, where she made and sold soap for a living. With no support from her relatives, she relocated to Ghana with her 7 children a year ago after the demise of her husband. Although they live at Abosu Okan Zongo in Accra, they sell bitter cola at the Opebia traffic lights because patronage is relatively better there. Together with her 4 kids, they sell the cola but beg for alms because proceeds are not enough to ensure their survival.
I always pray nothing happens to my kids. We have no one to support us. That is why we are on the streets.
Amina indicated, although they are exposed to all sorts of dangers on the streets, she says selling on the streets with her family is the only way out.
When business is good, I get more than 30 cedis daily, and it is not enough and can't cater for us.
Nevertheless, she is hopeful of a brighter future for the kids.
I want the kids to go to school. When the older one gets married, she will support me.
Although Ghana is a signatory to the Child Rights Convention and other international conventions to ensure the promotion and protection of child rights, abuse is prevalent in many forms.
Amina actually has 7 children and not 4. This is News at 10. We're live from the News Hub at Adesawe, Kanda in Accra. You can also hear me on 3FM 92.7 and you can catch us live on your DSTV channel 279. We'll be right back. We have more news for you. Now, all students who would graduate from the 46 teacher trainee colleges nationwide will from next year graduate with degrees instead of the diploma. This, according to the Education Minister, Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, forms part of teacher training reforms being undertaken to enhance the quality of teachers in the country.
Addressing the media at the Information Ministry's Meet the Press series in Accra, Education Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh noted a 3-year teacher diploma training is not enough to equip teachers with a prerequisite training to enhance the quality of education. In view of this, government and other stakeholders have developed the National Teaching Standard document, which is equivalent to the standards worldwide. This, however, informed the decision to upgrade the colleges of education to meet the 21st century requirement and produce a skilled workforce to drive the agenda for industrialization and modernization.
But starting this year, all teachers going to the College of Education would graduate with a university degree, not a diploma. Starting this year. And next year, the other universities will also take on their part of their colleges. It is also to help the university develop the capacity of teachers within the College of Education.
Presently, teachers earn a diploma in basic education (DBE) at the colleges of education after 3 years. Those who wish to upgrade themselves will have to do a 2-year first degree top-up, which takes them out of the classrooms for long periods, a problem he says the reforms would address. He also raised concerns about deployment, adding there are more teachers in areas they are not needed.
Invariably, they distribute towards where the teachers are not needed. So even though we are employing many more teachers every year, we seem to employ them to the same areas where we don't need them, and nobody wants to go where we need them. So this current round of employment, the teachers were sent directly to the schools. Because what did we do? The Ghana Education Service, the Deputy Director General, in coming up with a timetable with the schools, found out that there are some deficits in the schools. So the schools declared deficits. We need an English teacher, we need a physics teacher, we need a teacher in construction management. So when Ghana Education recruited, they recruited a construction management teacher and posted them to the school that needed it.
So far, government has employed 6,720 teachers out of the 8,000 to support the free SHS.
And some minority members of parliament from the Volta region have condemned concerns being raised by some party faithfuls that there are no Voltarian frontline executives in the recently held national elections. The MPs said such comments do not augur well for a party that is restructuring to recapture power from the MPP. They believe the election of executives from all regions makes the NDC a national party.
The NDC held its 9th national executives election over the weekend. After the polls, concerns were raised by some party faithful about the absence of frontline executives from the party's so-called World Bank, the Volta region. But some MPs from the region told TV3 such comments should not be entertained since the exercise was an election and not by appointment.
This was a very fair competition, and the competition was not conducted on regional lines. Persons from the Volta region contested for so many positions. Some won, some didn't win. It is important that we unite as a party and fight the bigger enemy out there, which is the ruling MPP. Of our members won in respect of the deputy or the deputyship. It is all good.
Everybody decided for who they thought was the best candidate. I won't be surprised that many Voltarians also voted for other candidates rather than vote for Voltarians themselves. Because if you look at the numbers some of the candidates who are Voltarians got, and you look at the number of Voltarians who voted, it means that even Voltarians did not vote for Voltarians.
A cross-check showed 7 members from the Volta region had been elected to occupy deputy positions. According to the MPs, the move by the delegates is a positive one since it shows that the NDC is a national party. They are optimistic the newly elected executives would bring the party victory in 2020.
Frontline executives from all parts of Ghana. And so I do not see what has happened at the end of the 9th Delegate Congress as a negative. To the contrary, it is a positive. It's a blessing. We should be very excited that nobody can say that the NDC is an anti-Akan party, that we have attracted so many Akans occupying very key positions. Some of the aspirants from the Volta region who are complaining that they didn't win, check their vote. It tells you that not every delegate in the Volta region voted for them. So it tells you that the delegates were voting in a nationalistic way about who can do the job, who can deliver now, and who can bring us victory.
This was done by delegates who have decided to exercise their franchise. If it were appointment, we would have a case. It is a party. Once you belong to the same party, you are just like you are from the same womb. So if you come and elect anybody, see that person as your own brother. Don't see that person as someone who have income from your region, because that person from that place is talking NDC. Anybody from Volta region is talking NDC.
Others stressed the need for the delegates' choices to be respected.
All of us in the Congress, the National Democratic Congress, you cannot expect all of us to think alike.
And residents of Teshi have turned the Teshi Salem beach into a dumping site. Frederick Clarence Williams reports residents are also openly defecating on the beach, which mainly serves as recreational areas for revelers.
Kuku Municipal Assembly strives to put an end to the poor sanitation issues in the municipality. The attitude of residents is making the fight difficult. Indiscriminate dumping of waste and open defecation at Teshi Salem Beach is on the rise. The entire area is engulfed in filth, and inhabitants appear oblivious of its effects. On a daily basis, more than 200 residents, especially women and girls, throng the area to defecate openly at the beach. Despite several interventions against the practice, it is common here. The Chief Executive of Lejokuku Municipal Assembly, Evelyn Ajele Chum Jamara, is shocked about the turn of events.
We have engaged them, we have talked to them, so now when you are caught, you have to pay a spot fine of 300 or you face the law.
She said the Assembly is ready to arrest and prosecute residents who defecate openly.
If you are caught littering or defecating, it seems as if now the law will have to take its course.
She emphasized the Assembly would also ensure a cleaner environment to improve the health of the people in the area.
That's how we wrap up with News at 10. Thank you very much for your time. On behalf of the crew, good night. There is more news at 3news.com.